golden sunlight. Getting some of this, look at that. Oof. Always a good idea to clean your bar and flip it, I'd say almost daily. Yeah, I flip my bar and clean out the groove just about every time I use my saw. Look at all that gunk. Yeah, usually when you're cleaning out your bar groove, you'll get a sawdust into your oiler hole. So I'll kind of use a toothpick or something small like that. Clean your bar a few times. Make sure that it's not pushing any more sawdust into your oiler hole there. See, so that looks clean. see how the ground slopes down this way where the tree fell, so there was a good 1 foot gap under this whole span here. So before I cut that there, I put these stumps under here, and then before I started cutting on the back, I pounded a piece of firewood in right there. So now the whole rest of the log is off the ground. I love my old log right hookerone. That tip has a slight little barb on there that just makes all the difference. This is the 36-inch handle. Started out with their 30-inch model. And yeah, it's good for one-handed. The shorter one. This one's a bit, gives you a little more leverage. But this one has a pretty good amount of bite. Sometimes it's too difficult to get the hook out. I find if I set it like this, I can hit the bar against the edge of this wood, and that really helps the tip pop out. Watch. Otherwise, say you're up here, look, see, there's no, I need leverage to hit there to help this pop out. So you kind of got to twist it like side to side. But I find, yeah, just popping it against there helps. Been getting the garden all tore down for a nice fall planting. Took down our tomatoes, some old okra and beans. Left a few of the pepper plants. But I'm gonna plant a bunch of cover crops. A nice mixture of grains, grasses, legumes. But right now I am pickling jalapenos. Ooh, those are some sweet peppers there. I think that's called lunchbox. These are just ultra sweet. Cotton candy. So I'm just getting the last of these jalapenos off of here. Wow, is that an old piece of hairy vetch? Look at that hairy vetch. I planted that last year. Wow, a year later. I think that's in the mix that I'm going to plant this year too. There's our little hibiscus. A few collards. Ooh, yeah. This is purslane. It's kind of gelatinous. Really good on a salad. Super crunchy. Purslane. Spilanthes. This stuff is magic. One of my favorite herbal teas. We also have lots of stevia, some tulsi kapoor, more stevia, some lemon balm. I think Hispy planted some skullcap over here. But we've always got tons of fresh stinging nettle. It's one of the best herbal teas. Ooh, the gotu kola. Gotu kola. It's really good for brain health, brain power. This is spearmint. Just